Hello, Next community. I wanted to kind of show you how to do a custom login screen. So I've got some customers. I helped them get one of their old cubes up and running, and their West Cap, located in New York City, Manhattan. And man, they got a really cool view outside their office. Robert's great, been fun to work with. And so he tasked me to do a custom login. I kind of said, well, yeah, I'm just kind of learning how. And so, you know me, I went down the rabbit hole. So I was playing around with some different designs. And it turns out I was being too complicated on these, trying to put the fields in and match them up and stuff like that. So Next will actually put the fields in for you. But these were some of my prototypes. And so I thought, well, that might look okay. They had a couple different designs for the logos they sent. And this one looked okay. Let's see if I can bring it forward here and still hold the camera. As you can see, I'm kind of winging it. And I'm running this in previous on my Mac Mini. So let's see if I can pull this off here. There we go. Kind of lean it to the side. And I said, well, that kind of looks okay. But I decided, well, we'll just go for kind of a simplistic feature. Now, the way I was able to get it onto NeXTstep is pretty cool. With previous, you could do an NFS mount here. And so I downloaded Robert's GIFs. He had sent me over a couple of them. And with NFS, it basically gives me everything that's on my Mac Mini hard drive here, right? And so if we get to W, it's actually pretty quick once it gets going. Let's see. So at any rate, because I've already dragged it out of here, let's see if I go to my downloads folder, actually. And we'll go back up to downloads. You can see how much crap I have on here. And downloads. So it downloaded it into the downloads folder, has everything there. And then I can scroll down, and I believe I've already grabbed it and thrown it on here anyway. But this kind of shows you, previous is pretty snappy once you get the NFS set. And you can drag and drop any of these files into NeXTstep, right? Which is pretty neat. So what I did is I had this West Cap. Let's see here. Well, for example, let me just go on. So, so I dragged it and I dropped it into my little test folder. And then with it, there's a couple apps that are pretty cool. Tiffany is kind of like a Photoshop for Next, and it's free. And if you go to the nextcomputers.org forum and just look up Tiffany, it'll give you kind of the directions, or Google it, where you can download the app, and then there's a little license key that you can set in, which, thank you to the author, Caffeine Software, many years ago. They gave it to the Next community for free. And then there's another little application that I use called Toy Viewer. And so with Tiffany, I went ahead and I manipulated, and I've settled in on this simplistic West Cap. Kind of went through, did some effects using Tiffany, and then with the Toy Viewer app, you need to convert it to a TIFF, right? And so I was able to do that. And then you launch a terminal window. Terminal's this little guy over here. And you run this command. I'm going to hold it there real still. Syntax is important, but dwrite, login window, image file with I and F, capitalized, space, and then you give it the directory. I believe it likes local library, right? So if I go down here, local library, you want to create a little logins directory, and that's where my West Cap small TIFF lurks, which we wrote up here, right? and you just press enter, right? And then it'll just go to the next line. That means that it's written it. And with any luck, when we log out here, you may need to reboot for your custom login to appear, right? But when we log out, I'm going to do another video. This is just to kind of show Robert what it looks like. I want to do one with the Next logo and the black hole logo for all my little SDs I send out. But I think you guys will enjoy it. You can see Westcap appears in the name. I left this area blank because if you put the, if you name your machine, it'll actually appear up in that area. There's a toggle that you can do to have it appear as a machine name once it's networked. So I thought this was a good location for the logo. And I was able to find the FAQ officially with lots of other information here. Let's see if we do... Gosh, it's hard to do with one hand here, but you got to do Control-Alt-M. And then this website, levinas.com, there's a NeXTstep FAQ, and they've got lots of cool stuff you can do for your login, including certain security features. So we have this running. I was experimenting with different textures. I ran GIMP. So another thing I can do now is I can run applications on the Mac OS side here, right? And so I was editing on that using GIMP software, which is free Photoshop for Mac. And then I was using Preview and creating it. And I said, well, let's see if I could do all this in Next. And I was able to using Tiffany and Toy Viewer. And so you can actually create stuff on your Mac. If you've got an NFS mount, you can bring that image in to your Next and then play with it using Next tools. So there's that transparency still to this day between the two operating systems. The key is you have to keep the file small in NeXTstep. So you can't just bring in a, multi-megabit file, because it'll crash the workspace manager. You'll get workspace manager errors. So you want to keep them a few kilobits, but, it looks pretty good. It actually does. And this is in black and white. I set it up to be a cube to match what they have. If I went back into previous and set it up as a color turbo, that logo would turn color as well. And so there you have it. I thought you'd like to see how to do a custom login window. Apologies if I went too fast, but you can always pause the video. Hope that that's fun for you all. So you're able to put your personality on your Next now. Have a good day.